Hi guys, you're back with Juzzy Evo X, and today we're looking at the beginning of my weight reduction for tomorrow's test and tune meet at Willowbank Raceway. So for the meet tomorrow, I've decided that I'm going to remove the rear interior of the car. So that'll be my son's booster seat, the rear seat and the backrest. And I'm removing the two OEM Recaro seats, and I've just recently had some airbag resistors made up. So these basically plug into the OEM airbag wiring harness, and then on this side there is in each one of these a 3.3 ohm 1 watt 5% tolerance resistor. They've been heat shrink wrapped to assist with not overheating, and yeah, they basically plug into either of the driver and the passenger seat. So all those seats are coming out. The new Sparco Pro 2000 QRT, which is the lightweight resin model for the 2021 period, is going in. Here they are mounted on the Evo X power rails. So yeah, I'm going to get to it now. Just removing the glove box from the front as well. I'll remove the B and C pillars, and the rear parcel shelf is out. I normally drive with dark carpet on there, but that's coming out as well. And lastly, the rear door trims. So that should be a significant amount of weight. I'll actually just do a weight sort of measuring of those parts as well, and we'll come back and see how we go. Alright guys, so I've just come back 20 minutes later. So far, as you can see here, taking out my son's booster seat, the rear part of the back seat, the back part of the back seat. I've got the C pillars, the door trims. There's the other door trim there. So they're all out. So that took about 20, maybe 25 minutes. So removing the door trims is nice and easy. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So basically it's just undoing a screw here, one here, one where the window switch is, and then on the back of here there's a screw holding this mechanism to the door card, and then simply just undoing the clip for your speakers. So as I've mentioned many times before, I don't run any speakers in my doors, as you can see there. And yeah, so here's what it looks like in the back. So here's what the other side of the larger reservoir looks like for the Evo X's that have the front mount intercooler water spray. Here is exactly what's happening. One of these, I can't remember, one of these operates the windshield wiper nozzle jet sprayers, and the other one is the actual front mount intercooler motor for that sprayer as well. So as you can see, the lines, they simply just go through here. They are actually separate lines. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but they didn't tee them into one. So it is actually two lines that run all the way along the right hand side driver's side to the front, again to the nozzles and to the sprayer. So here's what it looks like with no seat in the back. These can be removed as well. I probably might remove those. It's simply just a case of undoing the 4 bolts that are there. That's what it looks like having the battery, or that's where the OEM battery location is. And this is what it looks like with the parcel tray out. I've also removed the rear seat belts. So as you can see, there's the 1, 2, 3 there, and the buckle part of the rear seats. So I think they were 17s to take those out. And then I think to take out the seat, the front seat, the four, two at the back and two at the front bolts, they are, I'm pretty sure, a 14. So we need a 14 and a 17 to get that out, plus a Phillips head screwdriver and a sort of a thin flathead screwdriver to remove the plastic covers for the Phillips head screws. Alright, so as you can see, these are the cloth Evo X seats. So they come in the GSR model, and it's full cloth. So these are the lightest of all Evo X seats because they don't have any heat warmers inside. So therefore that means that there's only two plugs underneath the seat to consider. So there is this yellow plug, which is for the airbag, and then there is this, so that's the yellow plug, and then there's this other one to the right of it, which is the white plug, which has a black cable coming out of both sides, and that is the wiring for determining if the seatbelt is connected to the buckle. And yeah, you probably may already know that if you have some sort of weight in the seat with no seatbelt buckled in, I think it is, then it'll beep and essentially alert you that the seatbelt's not on for that passenger. So I'm undoing the 14's front and rear. Most importantly, I have disconnected the negative battery terminal in my car. And the way that you know that it's not, there's no power to the car is that your cluster, even though your doors are open, your cluster will have no display on it. I would also recommend that you sit in the driver's seat and put your foot on the brake pedal for about 10 seconds or so. No one seems to say that, but that's just something that I like to do. Call me superstitious, but that's what I like to do. Yeah, so basically you disconnect these two plugs, or if you've got seat warmers, my understanding is that there will be a third plug, which I think is this one that's just hanging down here, which is not in use in my car because this seat does not have the seat warmers. And then, yeah, once you've unplugged those 2 or 3 plugs and you've unbolted the 14s, both on the front and on the rear, you can carry the seat out. Just being really careful when you remove them, because these anchorage points for the rails that mount to the chassis, they're not sharp, but you know, they are stiff, and they will quite easily damage your plastic. So I'll remove that now and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so that was nice and easy. Probably the most helpful tip I can give you is that when you go to try and remove this yellow airbag clip, there's a white inside part here. You actually have to pull that white part back for it to release. Simple as that. The black one has a clip on the underside, so you have to lift the bottom part of it up to pull it out, and yeah, the white one just slides out once you've released that white clip. So here's a closer look at the third clip, which my understanding is for heated seats. As I said, I've got a GSR, so I don't have that. Here is what the Evo X seat looks like from underneath. So in my case, I'm not running a passenger seat in the car, so that's what it looks like. I'll just be running a driver's seat. It's pretty heavy. If you were to go the route of having some sort of aftermarket passenger seat, or I guess this is American, this would be equivalent of American seat, the driver's side, then you have to remove this bolt so that the buckle can come out. And then as you can see, there is a black wire that leads from the cable, from the buckle, which simply just goes up to here. So this was the belt buckle sensor plug I was talking about. yeah, so that was the right side. Yellow side is the airbag one. And as you can see, the yellow airbag plug runs down here and then goes somewhere up into the seat. I would say it's somewhere to this side, which is the outside, where the actual airbag inside the Recaro seat is located. Yeah, so there is a third wire here, which is coming out of the bottom of the seat. And as you can see, it's plugged in, so I don't need to remove anything there. But it's part of that wiring harness, which goes up to here, which is for the belt buckle. So my understanding is that that is to do with the way that the car determines if there is someone sitting in it. So it's some sort of weight sensor. But yeah, easiest of easiest solutions if you've got a GSR. You don't have to play with any of that. So I'm now having a look at it and thinking, oh, will I bother taking out this center console? And if I recall, if I do that, then you still have to have these this little thing here. Not that I would adjust any of those, but that's got to remain. So I might actually remove that. It's got to be a couple of kilos there at least. If I've gone to the effort of removing all this for the interior, I might just do that, see how we go. So the next thing I want to talk about is these plugs here. So these are the airbag resistors that you will need so that you don't have the airbag light come on. There's of course a way to turn off the light if you put the seats back in. Some people say that you've got to go and get the code cleared from Mitsubishi or someone who's got, I don't know, I guess Evo Scan, I think. But I'm not quite sure about that, but maybe in the comments someone can reply, or I might even come back myself once I ask my shop. So okay guys, so here as you can see we're back. I've got the airbag resistor, and I've got the custom made plug, was actually the equivalent plug that goes into this side. So basically it looks exactly the same on the inside. There's just the resistor that's soldered in there, and I'll plug that in now. Okay, so here we are. The driver's side is out, exactly the same procedure. Again, there's 3 plugs here, but I've actually got a 4th one on this side. So I'm not sure what that is, someone can let me know. But here is the airbag resistor on the driver's side. I'll be keeping this mounting, obviously because I'm going to be pushing the car. But here's what the car looks like. Lots of weight, the seats are super heavy. And here's what's going in. Alright, so I wanted to stop the video then to put the seat in. I thought, oh, I might as well try and take out this center console storage area whilst I'm at it. However, I realise now that the cigarette lighter is actually needed to power my Dodson SST heated sump base temp reader. So basically I'm going to leave that in. So yeah, I think it's probably about 2 kilos for this, but it'll be remaining in. Alright guys, so here is the driver's side seat, and I've simply just used the same 17 to undo this nut here so that the seatbelt buckle can come off. Then you'll see that the seatbelt itself has the sensor, the wiring sensor plug, just goes up here and it leads to this yellow plug here. So I'm just going to remove the little holders here so that I can take this buckle and connect it to the Sparco seat. Okay, so here's a look at the seatbelt buckle and the 3 little clips. Just use a needle nose plier to squeeze those out, and now we can connect it to the lighter seat. Alright guys, so this is the part of the video, and you always get this in a video, where you can't really see what's going on very well. But what I've done is bolted in the seatbelt buckle to the buckle bracket that comes with the Sparco, sorry, I should say with the power rail, Evo X power rail. So as you can see, I've just got a washer on both sides there, so that it's got something to grab onto. And then that cable that we just saw runs under the seat, and as you can see, I've plugged it up to the corresponding plug from the car's wiring harness. Then over here, that is the airbag resistor for the driver's side as well. So that's it. So that's all connected now. So now I just need to connect the negative terminal of the battery, and we should be in business. Alright guys, so the moment of truth. So I have put the driver's seat in. I've taken some little bits of plastic out from the interior. I've just connected my negative, so I've now got a circuit. The isolator is not in use, so as you can see, the dash cluster is back on, so there is power in the car now. So basically I have also removed the liner here, the kick panel, same on both sides, the B pillar, not the top part, not any of the A pillar. So through scrutineering, I'm not 100% sure of the process, so I don't want to push it too far. I know it's a test and tune, and there's all sorts of cars from race cars to street, but I have nominated myself into a street class, and there are limits in terms of how many seconds your elapsed time is on a quarter before they boot you out for not having a license, or possibly even at least a cage. So as you can see, it only has the rear door cards, not the fronts. The fronts are in, the dash is in, but yes, the passenger seat, the rear seat and back, the parcel shelf, which is a flimsy piece of plastic, the V-mounts for the rear, I'm going in a straight line, so I won't need those, and the center storage console is in place. Again, the boot is fully gutted. Everything is missing from there. None of the floor, the reservoir for the tank is down to very low, so that if I do get pulled over, it's a minimum requirement for us that our windshield wipers can squirt water onto the windshield, so I've left enough to actually do that. It's probably about, I don't know, 2 litres, 1 to 2 litres in there. So yeah, and so that's it. So basically, from the bonnet, from the engine bay, I lift the bonnet up, so I don't have the lining underneath the boot. It's got a carbon fibre hood scoop, Club Spec Customs V1 vents with no rain guards. There's no mesh on the front of the car. There's no counterweight underneath the front mount intercooler bracket, so that's been removed. Yep, so no mesh, no fog lights, no mesh there. There's no under tray. There is no wheel arch linings, front or rear. At the back, above where the exhaust is, there's a flat piece of, well, I think it's aluminium, which is used to prevent heat coming into the boot area or rear cabin. That's gone. The rear passenger side, so that's the driver's side in America, there's a rear tow hook, that's gone. I will be going to the track with a tow hook mounted in the front in case something does go wrong and I can get towed out for whatever reason, just in case. I'm not running my usual carbon fibre intake cover, nor am I running the fuse box cover or the link cover. I'm not running the core pack cover. I'm not running the strut bar. So I am running though the heat deflector. I'm also not running my custom SST cover for the gearbox, carbon fiber one. So the radiator top support panel underneath this, the OEM metal part is still there, and it runs a catch can. So all I've got to do now is just check my water. I've put brand new spark plugs in because I am going to be using Spark Cut's launch control. But yeah, it's probably been about 2 hours with taking the video. So I think if I put the phone down and just did it all at the one time, it probably would have been about an hour's worth of work. Now, to the most important part that you all want to know before I finish the video. What's the weight of this and what is the benefit of actually doing that? So just to recap, the Sparco Pro 2000 QRT seat is 7.1 kilograms from factory as weighed by Sparco. The power rails made for the Evo X, which coincidentally, if you wanted me to confirm, they fit perfect. They're 1.4 kilos, so that is around about 8.5 kilos, which is really great. In comparison, the GSR seats, the full cloth seats, so they're the ones that do not have heated seats and there is no leather. Each of those seats weighs 19.1 kilograms. So I saw a thread on the internet saying that they were 48 and 42 respectively. Sorry guys, but off the top of my head, they don't teach us pounds in Australia. So I don't know how much that is in kilos, but you could work that out. Perhaps that was some sort of confusion when researching. But they're 19 kilos. So as you can see, going from 19 to 8 is worth it. 11 kilos on the driver's side alone. So 19.1 kilos for both of those. The rear seat, including the back part and the bottom, is 23 kilograms. So that's a significant saving there. If you've got a young one, you've got a booster seat in your car. Not that I race on the street, but if you're interested in knowing how much that weighs, if you're a fast dad of some sort, they're somewhere between 5 and 8 kilos. I think mine was about 6.5. And then you've just got miscellaneous plastics there. So I haven't weighed those, but basically here I've got the bottom part of the B pillar inside, the part that runs along the door sill as well, and I've taken out, now it's hard to see, but I've taken out the kick panel area that guards sort of where your earths are and whatnot on both sides. So here's what it looks like. The roof lining is still in there. I cannot be damned taking that out. As I said, I'm not removing the fronts. I have removed the glove box, which is I think 2 kilos. All the aircon's in there and it works perfectly. The Android head unit, which is relatively big, it's probably about 3 kilos, 2 to 3 kilos at least, is still there. I've removed the grab rails, you know, for your driver and your passenger, and both the rears up from the top, so that's negligible, but they went a long time ago. So that's what it looks like, if you want to have a look. So what's that all up together? About 40, about 60, and let's say there's 5 kilos. Yeah, about 5 kilos in plastics, so about 65. The rear door trims are 2 kilos each, 67, 69. So let's just say about 70 kilos. From here, I've probably removed about 3 to 4 kilos. The Cusco Strut Bar, just the center part, is only 1 kilo, so it's quite light actually, but removed it because it's just the sake of 2 bolts. I'm still running the Brake Master cylinder stopper in there. Not that I should need it. Yeah, so I've weighed my car at about 1500 kilos. Oh yeah, importantly, spark cut launch control. So because the pickup for the OEM uh, uh, fuel line feed in the fuel tank is in the front passenger side of the car. When the car goes to launch, it transfers weight to the back, and so therefore the front half where the fuel pickup is actually can have no fuel there if you're too low. So people have suggested online, and actually AK Racing, they've suggested that I should have at least half a tank in there. Given that I've got an aggressive tune, I'm going to be at the track. When I launch, it's going to shift all that petrol that's in the tank to the rear. So I'm going to take my jerry can with me. A lot of guys in America will be familiar with this one. I bought this. Australians may not be so familiar because it's not in Autobarn or Super Cheap Auto. That's the VP Racing one. So that's got about 20 litres of E85 in it. So I'm just running straight E85. And yeah, I've got about 3/4 of a tank in there. And by the time I drive out there, yeah, we'll have gone through about 1/4 of a tank. And I should have enough. So there is a United petrol station nearby which does sell E85, thank goodness. Alright, so here is the time to see if the airbags are going to go off. So these were tested by my friend, I shall say, when they were installed. But, there you go. I need to have my key. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back with the key. So, proximity key in the seat and having a look at it. Alright, so it's telling me to close the hood, which is normal. But as you can see there is no airbags going off. So that means that the resistors are in play and they're working. So yeah, that's my radio going on because I've disconnected the battery and it doesn't record the stations because it's just turning on. So that's great. So I'm ready to now go and do the track test and tune runs tomorrow, 2 p.m. The weather forecast is that it's not supposed to rain, and fingers crossed, please wish me luck, and I'll be back with some video footage. So I plan to do what I normally do, which is run the mics, one in the front bar area and one near the rear license plate. I'm going to have it's not here at the moment, but I'm going to have my phone mounted up here in a cradle to the the roof lining, and yeah, so you'll be able to see some video footage like I normally do, or at least like what I've done when I've done my T51R mod videos recently. Thanks for watching, guys. I know this is a really long video, but you know, if anyone that's considering going to all this effort of weight reduction, I knew you'd want to be have a real good idea of what you're up for and how much you're going to save. I think it's worthwhile to save 70 kilos. It did cost me, in my case, about $1,000 to get that seat, and I will actually be able to use that for not only straight line racing but at the track, obviously. The car is obviously significantly lighter, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Please like, comment and subscribe so that I can answer all your questions and sort of appear in YouTube's popular videos for Evo X's. Yeah, I don't have a big budget. I am a guy that's just doing this for the love of Evos and the SST. Evo 10 in particular, and hopefully I can break into the top 5 Evo X and top 10 SST outright, which includes Rally Arts and Evo X's, tomorrow afternoon. We'll be back.